Hello, Anna at the Sewing Studio here, and in this video I am going to show you the Brother F580 combined sewing and embroidery machine. I'm going to talk you through all its features and functions. I'll show you everything that comes in the box, show you its capabilities, and then we'll talk a bit about warranty and support. So we've split all of those into chapters, so if there's one particular section you're interested in, feel free to head straight there. And if you don't know who we are at the Sewing Studio, we're an online shop as well as a physical shop based in the southwest of England. We're a family-run business and we're all sewers ourselves. That means we're on hand for you to support you with your purchase and any help and advice that you might need. And don't forget, if you like what you're seeing, subscribe to our channel and click on the little bell to be notified when we upload new videos. It could be another one like this, or one of our free sewing tutorials. So the Brother F580 is a combined sewing and embroidery machine. It's made up of Brother's F560 sewing machine and their F540 embroidery machine. Now on the sewing side of things, which is how the machine is set up currently, you'll find 241 different stitch options, and they're all conveniently listed under the lid here for you. Now within that as well, you'll find 10 different styles of one-step buttonhole. You've also got stitches for sewing stretch fabric, monograms, pictorial stitches, everything that you could need really. Those are all easily selected by this touch screen down here. Now if those stitches aren't enough for you, it also has My Custom Stitch, so you can create your own stitches. You have the ability to change the length and the width of the stitches, and the maximum width that you can achieve is 7mm. You can also mirror image some of those stitches. Do everything that you need to do really to get the best out of your projects. So I'm just going to close the lid. It's a computerized machine, so you have the option of either using the foot pedal or running it via the start-stop button, but either way you've got speed control, and that's with this slider here. So you can set it for a manageable speed for the project that you're working on. It's also got an automatic thread cutter and a needle up, needle down button, and you can program that for when you stop sewing, whether you want the needle to stay down or come up again. You've then got your reverse button here, as well as a locking stitch. And this red one here is your start-stop button. Now this machine is slightly larger than standard sewing machines, so you've got just over 7 inches of space to the right of the needle, so a bit more room to work with. And the presser foot here and the feed system, they're a longer system on this machine, so it means that more of the fabric is being fed through the machine to give it nice, consistent results. The presser fit also has an extra high lift, so you can get bulky items in underneath. And it also comes with a knee lift that plugs into the front of the machine, so you can raise and lower the presser foot with your knee. And you can also adjust the pressure that is applied to that presser foot. So when you're sewing with something quite fine, quite delicate, you can slacken it off so that it doesn't get chewed up in the feed teeth. Now those teeth as well, you're able to drop those to do any kind of free motion or darning work. It's got a built-in needle threader on it. It's called a one-action needle threader, super easy to use. I will show you when we get to the sewing section. And then the bobbin is a drop-in bobbin, so it's nice and easy to load, and then you've got a quick set on the side here. So you lay the thread in there and there's no need to draw up the bobbin thread, you can just start sewing. And if I pop this piece off, you've then got your free arm to sew any cuffs, hems, things like that. Pop that back on, and in here you've also got a bit of storage for the feet that come with the machine. Now on the embroidery side of things, you'll find 193 different designs built into the machine and around 15 different fonts. And those are all accessed via the touch screen. You can upload your own designs as well. This machine has wireless capabilities, so you can transfer them via Wi-Fi. There's also a USB port, so you can use a USB stick to load them on there as well. And within the touchscreen as well, you can edit your designs to get them exactly as you want them. It also has a colour sorting function. So this is a single needle machine, and some designs repeat colours further down the line in the design. So you can use the colour sorting feature to put all those colours together, so you're reducing the number of thread changes. Changing the thread is nice and easy. Same for the sewing side, you've got the same numbered thread path, the built-in needle threader, and then the easy drop-in bobbin there. There's also a thread cutter down in here, so it's going to take care of all the jump stitches for you. So let's take a look at what comes in the box. So firstly, obviously, the machine will be in the box, and then you've got the embroidery module as well as the accessory tray for the sewing side of the machine. And then in that fits this other handy little tray that stores some of the feet that come with the machine. And those are the standard zigzag foot, a clear view foot, a piping foot or a zip foot, an adjustable zip foot, one for doing free motion, an open toe, a straight stitch, an ultra glide or Teflon foot, a blind hem foot, a sizing foot, and an overlocking foot as well as a side cutter. You've also then got a walking foot, your one-step buttonhole foot, and one for sewing on buttons. And then lastly, with the feet, you've got the embroidery one. Now on the embroidery side of the machine, there's two hoops in here. You've got the maximum size of 7 by 5. Now you'll notice that this one is bigger, so this one is 12 by 5. So although the machine can embroider one design in a maximum size of 7 by 5, if you wanted to do it bigger, you'd need to stitch out one section and then realign the next section to do it bigger, and that hoop enables you to do that. You've also got your foot control. You only need that for the sewing side of the machine. Obviously your power lead, else you're not going to be doing anything. Your knee lift and a hard case, which you can probably see it, but that doesn't fit on with the embroidery module on, but it does fit on with the accessory tray or with neither of them. And then lastly, you've got a full operation manual, quick start guide to get you going, and then all the embroidery designs that are built in the machine are in this handy booklet as well. It's going to tell you how many different colour changes it's got and how long they take to stitch out. So let's move on and I'll show you some of the machine's capabilities. So the machine will know whether you've got the embroidery unit attached or not. At the moment we don't, because I'm going to delve into the sewing side. So I'm just going to press the screen to take it off the screensaver. It does its little thing, and then you can see you've got your stitches here. So there's a representation on the screen, but they're also, as I was saying, up under the lid as well. And you can just scroll through the folders using these left and right arrows. If you press on this one here, which is a kind of a snapshot of a lot of different stitches, you get to your folders. Now these symbols are replicated up here as well. So if you find your stitch up here, it's very easy to find it down here as well. So for instance, you've got your more sort of heirloom stitches in here. So you can scroll through, and then to select them, you just press on it and you can see now it's going to stitch out that stitch. And then if you want to go back, you can just hit the back button and then go into your other folder and back to the standard straight stitch. So it's very easy to switch between everything. If you want to adjust the width and the length, these are set up here for you, and you can press this one to get in to adjust those. So here you can change the width up or down, the length the same. Move your needle position left or right for if you're sewing a zip or piping or something like that, and you can also adjust the tension on there should you need to. So we're on the standard straight stitch, which I'll stitch out in a minute, but let's get it threaded first. So for the top thread, you just want to pop the spool cap off and put your spool of thread on and add your spool cap back in. And then you're just following the numbers and everything with a solid line. So I'm going to go number 1, round 2, 3, in the take-up lever number 4, number 5 and number 6. Now for the needle threader, you need to make sure that the needle's in the right position, and we can do that using the needle up down button, this one here. So we just press it to go down and then to go back up again. And you just lay the thread in the little groove there under number 7, cut off the excess, and then there's a lever on the side here. You just go down and up, and then the eye of the needle is threaded. So I'm just going to pop that under the foot. And then for the bobbin, you just want to push that to the right and the cover pops up. Now there is a right and a wrong way to have this bobbin, and the right way is with the tail of thread to the left. So you just drop that in, and then you put in the thread under the lip here. So I'm just going to keep my finger on it to give it some tension, and I'm going to go under there, and then I'm going to go around in the quick set. There's a little blade there that cuts the excess off, pop the cover back on, and we're ready to sew. There's no need to draw up the bobbin thread. So I've got 2 pieces of cotton. I'm just going to pop them underneath, and I'm using the start-stop button. So at the moment I've got the speed on the slow setting. To reverse, I just keep my finger on the reverse button for as far back as I want to go, let go, and then come forward again. So I'll go up to medium. And then high. Come to a stop, do my securing stitches. I can then press my scissors. It raises the needle, trims the threads, and I can just take my work out. And there's a nice neat straight stitch, regardless of if you're going at the slower speed. So that was at the start, right up to the high speed. That's on the top, and that's underneath. In terms of the machine's capabilities, it's got a nice powerful motor, so it can cope with quite a few layers. So I've got some denim here, and this is a 10-ounce denim that we sell in our shop. And I've popped a jeans needle on. Now, because this is thicker than the cotton we were working with, I'm going to increase the stitch length slightly. And that just helps the stitch to sit on top of the fabric rather than pulling it in. Okay. And then we'll sew through this. And it's sewn through that, no problem at all, no skip stitches or anything. So I'm going to double that over. And now we'll go through 4 layers. Again, absolutely no problem at all. So I'll double it over again. So now we're going through 8 layers. And this time, I'm just going to raise the presser foot slightly. I'm going to increase the stitch length again, just by another millimetre. And as you can see, it's done a nice neat job going through the 8 layers. There's no skip stitches, nothing's pulling. That's on the top. And on the reverse is just as neat. Now don't forget, the sewing element of this machine is exactly the same as the Brother F580. So if you want to see more sewing features in terms of sewing with jersey fabric, using the multi-directional stitches, how to do a buttonhole, things like that, then check out the video of the Brother F580. To switch the machine from sewing to embroidery, the first thing you're going to want to do is turn the machine off, and then take off the sewing accessory tray. We need to take off the foot and the ankle. So I just unscrew that, and that can drop out. And I'm going to take out this needle. And then lastly, you want to just undo this one screw on the needle plate. Keep that safe, don't lose it. Pop that piece off. Take your sewing bobbin out. Well, it's just a bobbin with sewing thread. And then take this bobbin case out. Now the machine comes with a second bobbin case, which is for embroidery. And this is set at a higher tension than the sewing case. So I'm just going to line the arrows up here, pop that one in, and then I can put the needle plate back on and screw that down in. Just give that a last tighten of the thread, of the screw even, with the screwdriver. There we go. And then I'm just going to cut this thread off because I'm going to be using embroidery thread, so I'll take that out. And then we want to pop the embroidery foot on. So basically this cradles the screw, and you can just do that up by hand and then give it a final turn with the screwdriver. And then we want to pop our embroidery needle in. So flat piece to the back, you just want to find the hole, pop it up as far as it will go, and then tighten the screw. Oops. And then to attach the embroidery module, you just want to open this little door here, and that gives you access to the port in the machine. And then sit the module just to the side, slide it in, and then under here there is a handle. You just lift that up and push it on. Switch the machine back on. And then press your screensaver, and now you'll see, I'll just raise that up. It's just going to calibrate itself. And now we're in the embroidery design selection screen. It's worth noting at this point as well, because the machine knows it's in embroidery mode, it's automatically dropped the feed dogs down because it doesn't use them when it's embroidering. So all your designs are in here in folders, and you can scroll through them using the left and right arrows. There, you can go back, go into a different folder, scroll through. Here is where you'll find all your different fonts. And then you've got some frames here as well, different shapes that you can choose. So they're all listed in there, but as I say, there is the embroidery design guide booklet as well, so you can see them all in there. Now to stitch out a design, all you need to do is find one that you like and then press set. So you're setting that design. And then here you can edit that design in lots of different ways. You can also add another design or some text by just simply going to the word add. I'm going to choose a font and then write the word time, or the words should I say. There's a space there for, and again, T. Oops, so that's telling me it's too big. So I'm going to go down to the small font and then pop in the letter A. So I can set that, and that's put it in the middle of that design. So I can just pick those up and move them to wherever I want them to be. Or you can do it in small increments using the move function, left and right, if you can see that. So I'm going to select my word now, and I'm going to move it down so it's at the bottom of the design. I'm going to make it slightly bigger, and then I can also curve it as well by going into the editing array, and that's made it into a curve. I don't want as much of a curve as that, so I'm just going to alter it, and then I can change the spacings to how I want them. Okay. And then when you've finished editing, you can edit end. You can then go to the embroidery screen, and then it tells you which colour it needs first. So in this instance, it wants the green first. So I'm going to take off what was my sewing thread. And threading the machine is exactly the same as you thread it for sewing. So I'm just going to pop my thread on there and follow my numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then for the needle threader, down and up. And then for the bobbin, you want to just open up the bobbin door, pop it in with the tail of thread to the left again, in and around, pop the door on, and that's it, ready to go. Now, if you want to see this design stitching out in real time, and also how I was able to replicate the colours on screen for the colours that I physically had, and what it was going to look like beforehand, but also how you position your designs very intricately, then check out the video on the Brother F580, as the embroidery functionality is exactly the same. And the embroidery results are just stunning. This was stitched out at the full 650 stitches per minute, and you can see it's done a lovely detailed job of the lines, but then also of the satin stitches as well. It's taking care of all the jump stitches. You've got a couple of little tails here that will happen occasionally, and you can just snip those off. And on the other side, you've got all your tails that it's cut off for you. If you were working on a double-sided piece, so say a blanket or something, you can snip these off to tidy that up and nothing's going to unravel. This machine comes with 3-year warranty for domestic use and 1-year warranty for commercial use. And in the box you'll find this card that tells you how to register your machine with Brother. And don't forget, we're here at the sewing studio as well for any help, support or advice that you might need. So I hope I've managed to show you the capabilities of the Brother F580. And don't forget, this machine is made up of Brother's F560 sewing machine and the F540 embroidery machine. So if you want to see sewing with the machine or embroidering with the machine in more depth, then check out the links below to find those videos. But this one is the combined model, so you've got the best of both worlds whilst saving space. And if you've decided that this model is the right one for you, then head on over to our website and check out with yours now. Delivery is fast and it's free.